Back, a company that recently settled a nearly $700,000 lawsuit over allegations it lied to the federal government is now providing health care to Arizona's prison system and its 34,000 inmates. The Department of Justice accused NAFCare Incorporated of violating the False Claims Act, alleging it overcharged the Federal Bureau of Prisons for services it provided. Investigative reporter Shaley has reaction on the news of this contract as the state juggles its own lawsuit over inmate health care.
Certainly raises concerns that yet again Arizona taxpayers are going to be paying inflated prices for the health care that incarcerated people are constitutionally entitled to, and that the people in the prisons may be paying with their lives or their health.
Corinne Kendrick is the deputy director of the ACLU National Prison Project and has followed the Arizona Department of Corrections Rehabilitation and Reentry for years.
NAFCare is now the fourth for-profit corporation that ADCRR has hired in the past decade since the state privatized healthcare.
Kendrick is representing inmates in the case, originally filed in 2012, which claims the ADCRR's healthcare is so poor it violates inmates' constitutional rights. The parties settled in 2014, but a federal judge ordered the parties to go back to trial after the state racked up more than $2 million in fines for failing to meet the prison healthcare standards outlined in the settlement. Now, the ADCRR has chosen to move forward with NAFCare as it waits to hear the federal judge's ruling.
Could the ruling from the judge potentially affect the healthcare provider or who the state uses?
Potentially, yes. We actually asked Judge Silver to find that this law that the state has in place that requires a for-profit vendor be used for healthcare be rescinded, because while healthcare was in no way perfect when the state was doing it, as the court's own experts showed, there's a profit motive involved when you bring in companies to do this sort of service for prisons and prisoners.
NAFCare Incorporated may sound familiar. The Pima County Board of Supervisors signed this $17 million contract with NAFCare last year to provide health care services to inmates at the Pima County Jail. Sheriff Nano says he's being told by correctional staff the company is, quote, bending over backwards to meet our needs. The county signed this contract with NAFCare just months after the acting assistant attorney general of the Justice Department announced the roughly $694,000 settlement with the Alabama-based company. He said, quote, "We will hold accountable those who knowingly fail to comply with this obligation and seek taxpayer funds to which they are not entitled." I asked NAFCare about this settlement, and a spokesperson told me the claims they submitted to the federal government were in no way false, and went on to say, NAFCare has always acted with integrity and transparency in our provision of services to the U.S. Bureau of Prisons, and we always will. The ADCRR declined to comment, but according to a press release, Director David Shin said, in considering our selection of a new healthcare partner, providing maximum savings to the Arizona taxpayer, and providing the highest quality care for the inmates in our custody were top priorities. We believe NAFCare was the best possible choice in these areas. Shaley Sanders, KOLD, investigates.